Hello my friends and welcome back to the rabbit hole. In today's video, we are talking all about e.l.f. skincare. I did this for their makeup, I did this for their brushes, and we're finally doing the video of the best and the worst e.l.f. skincare. Quick intro on today's video. This will have the same formatting as all of my videos in that you can jump to a timestamp that you are interested in, all timestamps in the description box. Also all product links, so if you're interested in a certain product and you see it down there, you can hop right on over to it. And also, this video is not a 2-week trial, although it has a 2-week trial component to it. The Supers line was completely new to me, so I tested that out for the past 2 weeks, but everything else I've been using for a long time. I have finished e.l.f. products, I have repurchased e.l.f. products, I have decluttered e.l.f. products, and I have skipped some products entirely. And what I'll do is, at the end of this video, I'll talk a little bit about my logic and why I haven't purchased every single product from e.l.f. It's tempting sometimes. And one final note in the interest of transparency. So I'm actually behind in filming, I've already moved on to testing new products. I hope I get myself back on schedule. It's mostly those Ulta 21 Days of Beauty videos. Those are so time consuming in my schedule that I'm actually behind in filming for my own trials. So anyway, if you see some redness on my forehead today, I actually had a glorious allergic reaction first thing in this morning when I decided to try out these new products. So that will be coming, hopefully actually on time. But just in case you can't see that on camera, because I feel like it's calming down, but just in case you can see that, it is not related to e.l.f. skincare at all. I've not had any allergic reactions, at least not to, I haven't had any allergic reactions to this level in a hot minute. So let's kick things off with the category of cleansers. Let me just tell you guys something up front. e.l.f. does cleansers extraordinarily well, in my opinion. Oh my goodness, if you are somebody who's sitting there watching this video because your current skincare routine is kind of expensive and you're thinking, is there a place that e.l.f. can help me just to cut corners a little? Cleanser. At the moment, I have 3 of e.l.f.'s cleansers. I have the Bounce Back Jelly Cleanser, I have the Super Clarify Cleanser, and then I also have the Gentle Peeling Exfoliant. The fact is, I actually like all 3 of these. I think all 3 of them fulfill the needs that I have in a cleanser, which would be I need it to be something that is very gentle, that doesn't leave my skin stripped, and I feel that this applies with all skin types. I genuinely think no matter how oily you are, you should never feel like your skin is stripped after cleansing. It should never be squeaky clean. And again, part of why I think e.l.f. did that so well is we're talking about pH balanced cleansers. I took the pH of all of these. They're all fantastic. None of them are stripping. It just kind of boils down to ultimately your preference in a cleanser, and I'll explain a little bit about each one of these. So the Bounce Back Jelly Cleanser, this one is actually my favorite, and I'm kind of surprised by it because I tend to love creamy cleansers as I'm a dry skin type over here, but it's so beautiful and it's so enjoyable to use. You know, absolutely, if this was in more expensive packaging, I would not be able to tell the difference. You could tell me that this is a $38 cleanser and I would just go, oh yeah, it's so nice, I love it. Spreads beautifully on the skin, has calming ingredients like cucumber and aloe. It does have a little bit of scent. It seems like the current mentality on fragrance in cleansers is it's probably okay because it's a wash-off product, but I don't think that will apply to everyone, so certainly do know that. However, it is a very light smell, a very nice, refreshing coconut smell, and it's an absolute joy to use. And then I have the Super Clarify Cleanser with niacinamide. Here's the thing, with active ingredients in a cleanser, if we're gonna have the logic that fragrance is okay because you're washing it off, then I feel like at least to some extent we should probably apply that with active ingredients as well. So for me personally, I don't like to rely entirely on my cleansers to deliver those ingredients, but we're talking about niacinamide. It's probably already in a ton of your other skincare products. So ultimately, you're just getting a gentle cleanser, kind of a pearlescent finish on this one for some reason, but it's also a joy to use. And then finally, the Gentle Peeling Exfoliant. I'm going to try to keep this simple. If you're a subscriber, you probably already know my feelings on these peeling gels, but I have to reiterate them here. So what this product is an enzyme-containing physical scrub. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, wait a minute, I can't use physical scrubs, I've heard they cause micro tears. Fear not, this is a very different scrub from a walnut scrub. Instead, what you get when you use this product, you actually get a very almost creamy gel-like finish that when you start rubbing it on your skin, it starts to form balls. And the reason it forms these balls is actually a kind of cool sciencey type of reaction. You have oils in your skin, and this product contains carbomer. So once that oil and carbomer have formed those little balls, you now have a very gentle physical scrub. And what's nice about it is this isn't the type of scrub that is going to hurt your skin in any kind of way, like a walnut scrub potentially could if you scrub too hard. Nor is it something that is terrible for the environment, like the plastic microbeads that used to be in physical scrubs. So we're talking about a biodegradable, very gentle scrub that also does contain some enzymes. So I've actually seen some people call this a dupe for the new Wishful scrub, which I see how you say that, but technically, the Wishful scrub would be a dupe for this. Now, fun fact for you guys, this whole idea actually originated in Korea. However, when it came over to America, so did some confusion around this. A lot of people like to parrot the idea that, oh wow, look at all the dead skin. But factually speaking, there is no way that this is dead skin. You can't actually see dead skin. Not with the naked eye, so there's absolutely no way that we are looking at that much of my hand that I just removed. I just washed it off so you can see that I still have hand left behind, so we know it is not my skin that I just removed. So, I think what it really comes down to is I don't like that misinformation. I just checked the reviews. One of the most recent reviews, someone called this witchcraft. No, it's not witchcraft. It's not witchcraft, it's science. Do you guys ever think about how if we stepped into a time warp and came out in Salem, we would be burned at the stake. We would be burned at the stake for our knowledge on science, for the fact that we carry around in our pocket a little black mirror. So again, neither witchcraft nor dead skin, but instead a rather cool reaction that is better for the environment. I actually like this. I actually like peeling gels. I just cannot with the misinformation. So anyway, e.l.f. did it really well, and for such an incredible price. I do think if you're on the fence about physical exfoliation, this is where to start. A product like this, absolutely where to start. Let's talk about toner next. Now, I'm gonna give you some truth here. Remember how I said the cleansers from e.l.f. are pH balanced? Because of that, you don't actually need a toner, at least not in the traditional sense. Old toners used to be necessary when cleansers had a pH of 12 and you needed to bring down the pH of your skin. But there is a benefit to deciding to use a toner, and that is that you dampen your skin so that the serum and moisturizer you follow with spread better on your skin. Now, because of that, you may not need a very complicated toner, and that's why I'm holding in my hand the e.l.f. Hydrating Coconut Mist. This is a product that I typically used more in my makeup steps. However, the fact is, this is something you can absolutely pull from your makeup collection as needed and use in your skincare routine. And this is a great option. This one right here, this does contain some coconut oil, so it may not be for everybody. It also does contain some fragrance, which is why I'm really excited to share with you a new release from e.l.f. This is their facial oil mist collection. So I purchased the soothing one. They actually have quite a few options under this category. They're all $5. Now, I personally went for the soothing option, and not surprisingly, it's the one that I think has the best ingredients list. However, it does contain neroli oil, so do know that if you have a citrus allergy. But it also contains, like all of the other facial oil mists, it contains hyaluronic acid, but also sodium ascorbyl phosphate, one of my absolute favorite vitamin C derivatives. But the thing about this mist, oh my gosh, you guys, I used to buy a kind of high-end neroli toner that was a mist from, I believe, June Jacobs. It was around $30. And this, I can't tell a difference. Multiple times, I've spritzed this on my skin and thought in my head, yeah, this $30 toner is worth it. And then I'm like, wait a minute. No, this was $5. I am very genuinely thinking of taking the contents of this and dumping it into this bottle, which I refuse to throw out, because even though it's empty, it's so beautiful. It does have some ethanol in it at the moment. It's so beautiful, but I can't afford to buy this anymore. It's way too expensive. Do you understand that I could convincingly tell someone, yeah, that's that's a $100 mist, and they would spray this in this bottle and go, oh yeah, I think that one was worth it. The only con with this, aside from having to look at the ingredients if you do have allergies, is that the product itself comes glued to a box. It's actually inside of a box, and the glue doesn't come off the bottle. So I don't love the bottle, but it's $5. I can transfer it. This is not a world-ending issue. And e.l.f. has just absolutely mastered the amount of oil in here. You know, Pixi has some very oily mists that are almost too much oil. This one, it's like when you spray it on, you feel this instant hydration, but it's not over the top. It doesn't mess up your makeup, it just puts moisture back into your skin. And by the way, that's why people with dry skin do love mists. I guess on that note, the only other potential con would be it may not be for oily skin types, but I absolutely love it. I think they knocked it out of the park with this product. And I'm sure you guys know that the e.l.f. Hydrating Water Essence is one of my old favorites. This is such a great product. In spite of its name, it is a product you can use either as a toner or an essence. But what I love so much about this is, first off, it's very high in niacinamide, and you can feel that from the texture. So it has a little bit more viscosity to it, enough that you just pour the bottle into your hands, pat it on your face. No need for an extra cloth that you're just going to throw away, way more environmentally friendly. It's a really beautiful product. I admit that I do prefer Good Molecule's niacinamide toner just a hair, if for no other reason than because that one is fragrance free while this one is not. But in terms of strictly results, assuming you don't have a fragrance allergy, I do think they're very similar, and this one is technically a little bit more affordable. This product right here, while technically a toner, I'm actually going to move this over into the treatments section of this video. So that's what we're going to be talking about next. This is the Supertone, a toner with brightening fruit acids. Now, the thing about this product, even though I like the idea of this product, I don't feel comfortable highly recommending it for two main reasons. I actually need to bring out the Super Brighten peel pads with brightening alpha hydroxy acids and talk about these together because they share some similarities. And you know, the most standout similarity is that even though both of these contain glycolic acid, they're not actually at the right pH for you to get the most from that glycolic acid. They kind of pulled a Pixi here. They kind of did, you know, what Pixi does with Glow Tonic, where it contains these potent ingredients, but the pH is kind of high. So what could happen is you use these and you think, wow, these don't sting like other glycolic products, but ultimately that's because they're not working as well as other glycolic products. But the second reason is these contain lemon oil, which is another potentially irritating ingredient. So I honestly don't feel very comfortable saying these are products you should run out and purchase. I would say The Ordinary's glycolic toner is a much better option. Do know that pH is a curve, so you may see some results from this, but it's just not going to be to the level of using products that sting your skin more but give you more results. You follow me here? And then we have the acne fighting spot gel. While I absolutely love the price of this because it's $3, do know that this is only 0.2 fluid ounces of product. So it's very small, and on a technicality, your money goes farther buying the Inky List's BHA, as that one is $10.99 for 5 times the amount of product. This is a rollerball, which I have historically never loved a rollerball product, but I am going to tell you this. You guys know me. You know that I hit a breaking point and I pulled the rollerball off of this, and that's when it really hit me how much alcohol is in this product. Don't do what I did. I highly recommend keep the rollerball on and just use a very, very tiny amount of this product. Because what I genuinely think is going on with this, it is a 0.1% salicylic product, but the first two ingredients are alcohol and witch hazel. And I tend to think that most of the results you get from this are more from the alcohol, which is a very antiseptic ingredient, of course. That's why it's used as a disinfectant everywhere. It's just a very harsh product overall. Are you kind of gathering that this is not my favorite category from e.l.f.? You know, I think that e.l.f. has fantastic skincare if you have more normal needs or you're rounding out a skincare collection. I genuinely think, and I hate to say this because I love e.l.f., but I genuinely think that if you're looking for, you know, acne solutions, if you're looking for potent anti-aging products, I would go to The Ordinary or the Inky List instead. They just kind of do it better. And then the super mask. So e.l.f. used to have this hydrating mask. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's discontinued, but I swear what they did is they pulled that mask, added in a little bit of Cica, and re-released it as this because I thought that I was using that mask when I used this. It's okay, I guess. It's a hydrating mask that you wash off, which I've said this so many times. I just don't really understand that because for me, hydrating ingredients typically should sink deeply into your skin. The longer you leave them on, the better. But if you have a wash-off product, always follow the directions. So it's okay. I can see that people might potentially like it, but it's just not the best that I've ever tried. But before you think this is a hate video, because I assure you it is not, let's talk about e.l.f.'s moisturizers, which they do so well. I have the Holy Hydration Face Cream with hyaluronic acid and peptides. I have the Happy Hydration Cream with hemp-derived cannabis sativa. And then I have the Super Hydrate, a moisturizer with hydrating squalane. And I think all three of them are fantastic. Let's start with the Holy Hydration Face Cream. e.l.f. did the absolute smartest thing I have ever seen with this moisturizer. They have a fragranced version and they have a fragrance-free version. Why doesn't everybody have this? Why is this not an option with every single moisturizer that has ever been made? I will never understand it. So shout out to e.l.f. for doing it right. In complete truth here, I think the Holy Hydration Cream is nice, but I actually think the Happy Hydration Cream is better. Now understand that they are very, 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 very similar in the way they feel on the skin. In fact, they're very similar in the ingredients list. But the difference is the Holy Hydration Cream has isohexadecane as the second ingredient, whereas the Happy Hydration has cannabis sativa hemp seed oil as the second ingredient. And the Happy Hydration Cream is completely fragrance-free. I just think it's so well done. You know, it actually feels beautiful on the skin. These are moisturizers that are cosmetically elegant, which is something that I don't actually think you find as easily with brands like The Ordinary. I think I've talked about this kind of a lot. I feel that brands either master the active ingredients or they master cosmetic elegance. And maybe you're picking up on this, but I feel like e.l.f. is certainly more on the cosmetic elegance side. So, you know, using products like this over your The Ordinary serums with your e.l.f. cleanser, you've got a fantastic skincare routine. Now, I don't want to leave out those of you that have oily skin, so I do want to make sure I'm clear that I think those are more for normal to dry skin. So we have the Super Hydrate Moisturizer, and I think you're gonna like this a heck of a lot more if you have oily skin. What an utterly bizarre texture this has. I did not like it because it wasn't enough for my dry skin, but it's almost like, have you guys made Jell-O? Have you ever been impatient in making Jell-O? You know, you're supposed to leave it in the fridge for X number of hours, but you go and you try some at 2 hours in. That's the exact texture of this. It's got squalane, it's got niacinamide, go figure why you don't necessarily need to worry about it in a cleanser, but yeah, it's a good product, just not for dry skin. You guys already know. If you're a subscriber, you already know how much I absolutely love the 50 milligram CBD eye cream. This is everything I was looking for personally in an eye cream. I want a beautiful ingredients list. I want some peptides. I want some potent ingredients like some CBD. I don't want fragrance. I don't want irritants. And I don't want to pay an arm and a leg for a ½ ounce of eye cream. But most importantly, what I was looking for in an eye cream was something for the day. I actually think every eye cream I've ever tried before this one has given me grief underneath my eyeshadow, underneath my concealer. They just do this thing where they kind of ball up on themselves no matter how expensive those eye creams are. I got this one, I tried it, and it didn't ball up. Honestly, how did you do it, e.l.f.? How did you do it? It's such an incredible eye cream. I tried to swatch this so you guys can see, but I'm running quite low, so I'll certainly have to buy some more, but it's just incredible. Hopefully I'm emphasizing well enough that this is a very light texture, so if you have very dry eyes, this may not be enough for you. Or you could do what I do and use this during the day and use a thicker eye cream at night. However, I think it's such an incredible product. You know, genuinely a product that I've been looking for years. And I didn't want to make this entire video about primers, as I kind of already covered primers in my e.l.f. makeup video, but I still have to give a special shout out to the Puff Puff primer in particular. If you're somebody with very, very dry skin, oh, I think you're gonna love this. I'm actually wearing this right now. I talk about this kind of often. I do move primer into my skincare routine rather often. I wear primer without foundation on top of it often because I have very dry skin, and using a very occlusive primer does my skin some favors. It's fragrance-free, it's got a beautiful texture, and it's certainly something that you, instead of using it as a primer, you could use this as a night cream. Now, you're not getting as much product, this is only an ounce, but again, if you compare the price of this to, you know, a luxury night cream, it just doesn't even compare. So that's really my product recommendation for the very, very dry skin types, of which I guess we could also talk about the oils, but don't necessarily think oil is something only for the driest skin types. The All the Feels facial oil is the hemp oil, and there is a difference between hemp and CBD products. With hemp, you're going for the fatty acids, and with CBD, you're going for anti-inflammatory, almost active effects. Let me clarify this a little better and explain why I'm calling it kind of an active. So you have the hemp plant. From the hemp plant, you can cold press the hemp oil, and that's going to give you your fatty acids. Whereas you go back to the hemp plant and you pull out the CBD, that's going to be a lot harder to extract. You're going to have less of it, but that CBD in its final phases can be potentially anti-inflammatory, other benefits as well, balancing to the skin. Now, strictly in terms of making my recommendations more low in irritant potential, I would have to go with the All the Feels facial oil, as this one is a gorgeous oil and it is completely fragrance-free. It's going to give you an antioxidant boost and an emollient base, just going to be so lovely, especially if you do have dry skin. But in full credit to the CBD facial oil, I think it's a good way to kind of experiment with CBD if you're okay with the fragrance, because admittedly, this is not fragrance-free, and they kind of had a little bit of a backlash for putting some fragrance in here, and also for making the fragrance a little strong. But ultimately, I don't see myself repurchasing this because, again, it does have that possibility of irritation. And at the end of the day, even though this is 100 milligrams, which is not bad for $18 for an ounce of oil, your money's going to go farther actually buying the Lord Jones $100 bottle, because that's 1,000 milligrams of CBD. So if you're looking for those balancing anti-inflammatory benefits, yeah, it's a lot up front because CBD is an expensive ingredient. I'll link you guys my CBD video. At the risk of sounding tone deaf, I do understand that this is an e.l.f. video, and there may be some of you watching sitting there going, yeah, I'm not going to pay $100 for any skincare product. That's why I'm watching an e.l.f. skincare video. So I want to make sure you know that while I do believe in CBD as a skincare ingredient, while I think it has great anti-inflammatory benefits, know that it's not the only ingredient that can give you that. As long as you're comfortable with the idea of snail, you get rather similar benefits from snail mucin, and the CosRx snail mucin is $22 for 3.38 ounces. Let's talk about the face erase next. I think I'm going to keep the packaging on this. That's kind of perfect for travel, right? It's a reclosable little bag here. I got my price wrong in the What's New in Skincare video, so just so you guys know, $4 for this, but I do think it's amazing. I wanted to directly compare it to the Face Halo. Both of these are microfiber and reusable cloths, and that's the whole purpose of this. You know, I've talked several times about environmentally friendly products, and this right here, these are environmentally friendly products. This is obviously a fraction of the price of these, which retail for 3 for $22. And the claims with these types of products is that you can just add water and remove your makeup. I've said it before and I will say it again, I very rarely find that to be enough to remove the heavy makeup looks that I do. However, I don't just use these for that. I use these for applying a more liquid toner. I'll put some toner on, slap it onto my face, and then rather than throw a cloth away, I just wash these. And when I'm removing makeup, I put a little tiny bit of Lancome's Bifacil. I bought the one from Maybelline because I wanted to be able to have something more affordable. So I'll update on how that goes. But I do like to use the dual phase makeup removers with products like this. Now, in terms of a comparison, is this really a dupe for Face Halo. I would say kind of, it's pretty close. I do think the microfiber quality is better on the Face Halo, and also the e.l.f. one is a little more floppy. But for what it's worth, you really could sew your own. You really could sew your own. If you don't think you have the time for it, $4, e.l.f., done. There's something in between the microfiber cloths on both of these. It feels like cardboard, but I don't think it is, because it would have to be something you could wash. Oh, I kind of want to disassemble one just so I could remake one. What's the channel that does the tearing things apart? Have they done that? Have they taken these apart? I want to know what's inside. The final category for this video is lip balm, and I'm kind of worried I'm going to make this a little long, so that's why it's last. What I've noticed is that lip balm often falls under reviews from people who primarily review makeup, and it's often neglected in the skincare world. I actually feel this way about primer as well. And it's important to understand what those benefits are and how they work so that you pick the one for your specific needs. So when we're talking about lip balm, the same properties of moisturizer apply. You've got humectant properties, you've got emollient properties, and you've got your occlusive properties. But again, like I was saying, whether they have humectant, emollient, or occlusive properties is going to determine whether a lip balm works for you. So let's just start with the Ride or Die lip balm. I have seen a lot of people compare this to the Bite lip balm, and I believe also one from Glossier, and I'm gonna tell you, I kind of get it. I tried the old Bite lip balm, I haven't tried the new one yet. That's a very occlusive formula because of the lanolin in it. So occlusive properties give you a barrier on your skin much in the same way that Vaseline does. So the reviews for the Ride or Die lip balm are almost funny to me because you see a lot of people saying, this is nothing more than Vaseline. That's the same argument as Glossier as a brand is nothing more than Vaseline. Like, I get what you're saying, and I see the occlusive properties, but it's kind of a little more. It's a little more than Vaseline. All that said, I would call this an occlusive lip balm. I think that if you need to protect your lips from the environment, you're probably going to like this. If, however, your lips are truly dry from within, I don't think it's going to be enough. Which is why my absolute favorite, and the one I'm wearing today, is the 5mg CBD lip oil. This is absolutely fantastic. And with this product, you're really feeling the emollient benefits. To explain that in a very simplified way, humectants kind of go in the deepest and provide deep hydration, emollients are in the middle, and then those occlusive ingredients sit on the top. So they say a soothing lip oil that leaves lips soft and supple, and I agree, emollients typically leave the skin feeling soft, and this is a fantastic softening lip oil. Ooh, it's gorgeous. Ooh, one con with this, it does contain some peppermint oil. Not a lot. I typically can't handle a lot of peppermint oil in a lip product, but I don't mind it in here. No fragrance, but that certainly is natural fragrance. And then last, the Juicy Gloss from the Jelly Pop collection. This is actually the only product I have from the Jelly Pop collection. It seems to me that it's more for oily skin, so I didn't purchase anything. I've heard good things though. Glosses usually don't have a lot of skincare benefits, but this one is actually gorgeous. It contains avocado oil, I think sunflower oil, as well as some hyaluronic acid. So it's actually a very hydrating lip gloss. I just popped this one on my lips, so hopefully you can see it. Yeah, this is actually, it's a great gloss. And then finally, as promised, the products that I just kind of ended up moving away from. So I used to have several of e.l.f.'s bubble masks. I don't really think that those give you the same type of benefits as, say, a BHA mask or a BHA leave-on. It does kind of feel like it's cleaning out your pores, and I admit that they feel fun. But, you know, for me, I do have a difficult skin type, and I need my skincare to do a little more than just feel fun. So those are still fine, and I think they're probably very fun for sleepover parties, but they're just not the highest impact masks out there. I've also tried the e.l.f. boosters, and I think they're fine. But again, looking at them from a cost perspective, they're only a half ounce for around $10. So your money ends up going farther with identifying what's going on with those products. We'll look at the hydrating booster drops. As I used to own these. I actually finished it. I liked it. It was a good product, but ultimately it's 0.51 fluid ounces, and what you're getting here is hyaluronic acid and some antioxidants. You know, your money goes farther purchasing the Ordinary's 2% hyaluronic acid. And yet, don't get me wrong, I still respect what e.l.f. is doing with these products. You know, I've seen some very pricey booster drops. I used to buy Oh, this is long. This is a long time ago. Cover FX used to have these booster drops that were the same size and were around $50, 50 doll hairs. So, I'm certainly not saying, oh, e.l.f. is ripping you off with these products. No, they're quite cost effective, but at the same time, it's just another example of where I think another brand kind of did it a little better. And finally, I've moved on from buying makeup wipes, although arguably this is because I used to use them exclusively for camping, and we haven't been camping over here. I still respect makeup wipes for that specific purpose, but if you're still using makeup wipes, oh my goodness, I would highly recommend you use a cleansing balm, for example. I had to look this up because I haven't owned it for a while, but the Vanilla Co. Clean It Zero, fantastic cleansing balm, works better than a makeup wipe. But that is it. I hope this is not a super long video. It probably is. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.